On a numbers game, the right data changes everything, and the data behind Shopify is hard to argue with. Millions of businesses worldwide run on it, including our own VSiN store. When we launched, Shopify's templates and AI tools got us live fast. Professional looking from day one. No tech background needed. Shopify checkout converts more customers and makes it easy for returning fans to come back and buy again in a single click. Shopify's built-in AI assistant Sidekick is there whenever you need help, building, troubleshooting, or just figuring out your next move. Check out what we built at vsin.com/store. Then go build something of your own. All you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. That's shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
It's a numbers game. Welcome into Thursday, July the 16th. Be with you. I'm Dustin Sweetelson. He's Kelly Bidlin. Thanks for hanging out with us today to get you set for the day. Still to come on the program, we're going to look at the NFC East. We'll preview the baseball second half with the Mets and Phillies getting underway today. Christian Scott, Aaron Nola. I have a pitcher prop that I'm betting on each of them. That's later on, though, in the show. We get tweets at Dustin Sweetelson, at Kelly Bidlin, at VSiN Live. And Evan Klein may have just won tweet of the day.
Wow, a new winner.
A new winner.
Okay.
It's been superseded. So last segment, we're going to ask our next guest about this. So I'm doing this early to brace him for it before I read the tweet.
Hoof cleaning?
Not hoof cleaning. We're not on that right now. But I did because Kylian Mbappe, it sounds like Mbop. It makes me think of Hansen. I admitted, and I've done it a couple times here on the network, that when I was a child, I want to keep you all in mind, I was the same age as these kids.
Yeah.
But the band Hanson, I had a crush on the youngest one until I found out they were boys. Evan Klein writes in, the CIA couldn't beat that type of information out of me about Hansen. Zach Cohen joins us now. He's the host of Hardwood Handicappers, breaking down the NBA every single day. Also does great Wimbledon or tennis coverage. Wimbledon's over. Tennis coverage over at vsin.com on top of many other things. At Betting on X, you can find him on social media. Zach, do you remember Mbop coming out and the Hanson brothers as their band taking the nation by storm? Do you not remember people had crushes on them, then finding out they were girls? Is that just me?
I don't remember it coming out at all. And I also feel like I thought the words were like doo-wop for a really long time.
Look, I'm not going to fully have your back on this one, but I know what you're saying.
It sounds right.
I understand what you're saying.
I was like 9 years old.
And I remember the video. They all looked like girls. Like all of them.
When did Mbop? How old are you, Zach? I think you're a little bit younger than me.
I'm 91, born in 91.
Yeah, so you're a little bit younger. Mbop came out 97. You know what? I was a little bit older than I thought. I was 7.
I was watching
I was 12 years old. I was 12 years old. I might have been a little bit old to be admitting this right now. Either way, we will move on because I am not being painted in the best light by myself, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Keep thinking that hole, buddy.
My therapist would call this self-sabotage.
Yep.
It's something we're working on, but it's never going to go away. Let's talk a little Summer League. And the thing that Kelly and I keep coming back to is the Caleb Wilson of it all. I knew Caleb Wilson was a dog. I knew Caleb Wilson could play in the post. I did not know he could shoot the 3-ball. I love the opportunity. I love the situation. Now, as far as Rookie of the Year goes, he went from 9-1 to 5-1 with some of these performances in Summer League. Do you still think there's value at 5-1, or at this point, you're going to wait and see how things start at the beginning of the year?
I think there is some value. I kind of think it's going to be between him and Boozer, and I went into this really, really hot for Boozer to win Rookie of the Year. I think that that's the most NBA-ready rookie to kind of impact winning and just kind of be the hub of his team's offense. But the way that Wilson's playing and the way that they are allowing him to play in Summer League makes me think that he's going to have a massive on-ball role in Chicago right from day one. And it has looked really, really good with that jumper. And I, like you, I thought he was going to be really good, but I thought he was going to be more of like a small ball big that impacted games with like his mobility, his athleticism, his energy. I'm seeing way more of like a talented wing than I ever saw at UNC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think well said, Zach. That is my kind of conclusions as well. If you're approaching Rookie of the Year right now, I don't think it's a I don't think there's a bet to be made right now. Though that these odds have shifted, I'd probably just be waiting for the start of the season here. But those would be the only two guys I'd be considering right now, too. I think just because of the usage rates. Anything else summer league wise that's jumped out to you? Biggest takeaways. Rookies are kind of the first thing we go to, the star rookie class, and for good reason. Anything else team wise, player wise, that's really jumped out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say like as we kind of look at Cleveland in this upcoming season and what they might be able to do if they're able to bring in LeBron or they're not, but Malik Thomas being as good as he has been in Vegas so far, kind of surprising. And that is something that they could absolutely use is some firepower off the bench. I mean, he's leading the summer league in points per game at 28 points per game, looks really electric as a shot creator. So just kind of having him off the bench as like a 6-man type, you know, if you do want to opt to throw him in over like a Dennis Schroeder, that is something that's really interesting to me as we already kind of talk about a Cavaliers team that looks really good. Then there are two kind of sophomores that have been really good. In my opinion, like Yegor Jomin looks like a star for Brooklyn. I think that he's going to be really, really good this upcoming season. And that kind of goes into a win total play that I want to talk about with you guys. And Kaman Malawach for the Suns has looked like a Joel Embiid light for Phoenix. And it just kind of changes the future of this Phoenix team if he's able to be, you know, a starting 5. I think that he's got a really good shot at being a special two-way player and shooting 40% from 3 in Vegas so far. So it's a really unique skill set.
VSiN senior editor Zachary Cohen is our guest. He's also the host of Hardwood Handicappers, available wherever you get your podcast, breaking down the NBA and the Summer League. You got a couple plays today. Let's look at those. Lakers laying 5.5 against the Bulls. Total in that matchup, 181.5. What jumps out to you here? And God bless you for doing this work for us.
Yeah, so I got a bad number on Chicago here. I took plus 3.5. My thinking with this game is that it does seem like Caleb Wilson's going to play. It does, of course, make a lot of sense to wait a little bit longer. I'm just working a little bit ahead with these. But if you get a little bit closer to tip and you see that Wilson is playing for Chicago, I would grab the points. The Lakers are undefeated in Summer League so far. That's great. But I think if Wilson is on the floor for Chicago, they have the best player on the floor. And I don't think the supporting cast is that much worse than what you're going to see out of LA. I think the Lakers are overperforming a little bit so far in the Summer League, and I do think that they are due for a loss. So I know that Cameron Carr has been good, but I just can't see them winning convincingly against Wilson if Wilson's out there. So just keep an eye on, you know, Twitter and, you know, some beat reporters and stuff, and just make sure you know who's in these lineups.
Yep, good call, Zach. And one more side you're looking at today, and I hope both of these come through because it would set up my futures a little bit better.
Yeah, I have the Nets on the money line, minus 141 against the Rockets. It's a little closer to minus 150 now. I would still take that. I already just kind of mentioned it. Like Yegor Jomin has been awesome. Michael Brown Jr. has looked good. And then this team is just so deep with talent, which we talked a little bit about last week. But I think this is the best team in the Summer League. It's just a matter of whether or not they want to play their guys. So that is another one where just kind of make sure you are keeping an eye on Twitter or wherever you kind of look to see that these lineups look the way we're expecting them to. But I would say with the Nets over the Bulls, it's like a little less reliant on Brown and Jomin being out there because there are a couple of other players on this Brooklyn team that can step up and play, like Ben Suraf, Danny Wolf. I'd be surprised if they pull kind of their second tier of young players. And we actually saw this Nets team playing down both Jomin and Brown hang with the Hawks, who have been the best team in Summer League.
Zach, win totals dropped this week, and I know Kelly's on this team. I know you're on this team. Mitch Moss has been on this team for a while to win the West, so he obviously likes the win total over, and I can't argue with it. I am so intrigued by the Utah Jazz. The addition of Peterson, I was a Peterson guy in the draft. I'm not taking a victory lap yet. It's Summer League, but God, does he look smooth and like a go-to guy on the wing. You combine with your guy that you had the propaganda that I was buying a year ago, and Keontae George is the most improved player. We haven't even seen what it looks like with Jaren Jackson Jr. and Lauri Markkanen. Nurkic is back with the physicality. Ace Bailey developed last year. Collier off the bench. Filipowski off the bench. How do the Utah Jazz not get over this 35.5 win total?
Yeah, I really like Utah this year. I have backed off a little bit because I was with JVT and Mitch on like this team could potentially be like a sneaky top 4 team in the Western Conference next year. I think the Walker Kessler trade kind of knocked them down a little bit, but I still see them as a 35-win team. I think that if you just kind of think about what the offense is going to look like, I'd be stunned if they're not a top 10 team in terms of offensive efficiency. If they don't hit this mark, it's because the defense is just a complete disaster. And there's a chance that happens. I mean, Jaren Jackson Jr. is a good defender, but as far as the rest of the starting five goes, there really isn't anyone in there that you really trust to go out and get stops. So this could be very similar to Jazz teams of old, where they're putting a lot on their big men. It's not going to be Rudy Gobert. It's going to be Jackson. But I do think that the offense is going to be special. And I think that the kind of youthful exuberance they're going to play with will make them a really tough team to play in the regular season, and especially in Utah. This is always a good team when they are solid at playing at home, and I think they're going to be really good in Salt Lake City.
All right, before we let you go here, just the update. It's obligatory. We have to do it at this point, this stage of the game. LeBron James' next team. The market is up at Kalshi. Cleveland's 39%. Golden State's 32%. Miami's 15%. Philadelphia's 12%. If I were to say take Cleveland and Golden State out of it, is there anyone you really think he goes to other than those two?
I guess if it's not those two, I would say Philly. I mean, I think it would make, I was going to say zero, but I guess little sense to me if LeBron ends his career in a 76ers uniform. But there have been some really good cases made for all of the connections he has there, whether it's, training with Tyrese Maxey, playing, I think, high school basketball with the new decision maker there. Yep. It understandably, he fits in perfectly as their starting four, and you slide Dean Wade to the bench, and all of a sudden you have Wade, you have Simons, you have, I don't know, whoever else off the bench. It makes a lot more sense than I think that I gave it credit for earlier in the offseason, but I don't really understand the connection to Philly. I feel like the basketball situation is very similar with the Cavaliers and Sixers. So just go end your career in Cleveland. No one will rip you if you go to Cleveland. We will rip you if you go to Philly.
Yeah, I keep coming back to the documentary. He's going to be, covering his entire final season. They're documented this thing. They want to put it out probably as a movie. To me, going to Philly loses the buzz. Going back home, ending where he started, that gives you a little bit more juice as far as that's concerned. If you want to see all of Zach's write-ups, including the tennis picks, VSiN.com, where he is our senior editor, and check out Hardwood Handicappers, breaking down the NBA, wherever you get your podcast. Appreciate the time as always, my friend. We'll chat soon.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
Speaking of all that with Zach, there's no shortage of betting opportunities this summer, from baseball, the World Cup wrapping up. We've got the countdown to football season. That's why right now is the perfect time to lock in VSiN's football special for just $175. That's VSiN Pro Access now through the Super Bowl. Betting guides, NFL, college, and more down the road. Division races, upcoming season. We will help you attack all the futures. All you have to do, head to VSiN.com/subscribe right now. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. We'll continue the NFL conversation, Offensive Player of the Year, and an MVP whose schedule lines up perfectly.
You're here because you want an edge. That's what separates listeners from winners. But let's be real, mindset alone doesn't get bets home. Pros win because they've got the tools, the data, and the discipline. And now so can you. VSiN Pro gives you access to the same real-time insights the sharps use. No secrets, no fluff, just actionable info that moves markets. Tap the link and see why serious bettors are turning knowledge into profit with VSiN Pro.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on a numbers game. I'm Justin Sweetelson. That's Kelly Bidlin. Apologies to anyone who thought I'd come back from break saying we get tweets. You lost money in the prediction markets just now.
Oh!
Scriptwriter didn't have it.
That mention didn't work out.
How are we doing in the British Open? You seem distracted. Do you have any Kurt Kitayama?
No, I had him last week.
So he's going to do awesome.
He's going to do awesome.
He's going to be
par. He just traded a long birdie putt.
Daniel Brown, Sungjae Im still atop the leaderboard. T1.
Yeah, this someone can help me. Tweet it in if you have actual numbers to back this up. Sure looks like the afternoon though playing a little bit tougher than I expected. That's for sure. Matt Fitzpatrick won over par. Guy here, he's trying to save par on the 7th. Feels like the afternoon's playing a little bit tougher though. And he misses that. That's going to be a bogey for Fitzpatrick. He'll drop back to 2 over par. Wind doesn't look like the wind's picked up or anything crazy, so I don't really know where this is coming from. I thought we'd have some guys that were live to take over this first-round lead, but Sungjae Im, Dan Brown looking pretty safe right now at 4 under.
All right, we'll keep you updated today, tomorrow here on the program. VSiN's got you covered all weekend, where you can catch our next guest plenty of times, breaking it all down. One of my partners, my OG on Live Bet Sunday, where we had a very profitable year a few years ago, because Will would just go 4-1 with 97 seconds left in the game and the football down by 3. That feels too long. And I go, yes, Will, that does feel too long. And we made a lot of money because I just did that whenever Will said that. He is Will Hill, his podcast, Should Have Bet More, at Not The Will Hill on X. And he joins us now on the Progressive Guest Line. Will, the second half of baseball, it begins tonight. Now, there's someone out there who loves semantics who wants to yell in my mentions, I'm sure, that it's technically not the second half because they don't do it at the middle
final
point of the
stretch.
season. Yeah, that's a better way to put it.
That's usually what I use. Yeah.
The second part of baseball season, and it gets started with teams on completely diverging paths. The New York Mets, Christian Scott on the road at Philadelphia and Aaron Nola. Phillies minus 131, plus 109 with the Metsies. Totals 9 and a hook. What do you like tonight in the first game of the second half of the season?
Well, I like that we get baseball back, and good to see you guys. I'm sure the handle for this game will basically, be like the handle of the Super Bowl. People just starve. Last night there was nothing. Tuesday the All-Star game, Monday the Home Run Derby, a slow week. So I'm sure people will be firing here aside. Total props. This game will get a lot of attention. So excited to have it back. I like the over. I like the over 9.5. And I don't bet a ton of overs in baseball, but man, Nola has really struggled with the home run ball, giving up almost 2 home runs per 9 innings. The wind and the weather in Philly looks very conducive to offense. Hot, going to be 95 degrees first pitch, wind blowing out. And again, I don't play a lot of overs. I don't play a lot of player prop overs. But if there's ever a time to back someone, Juan Soto is a good matchup here because Noah struggled against lefties. Soto in that ballpark, just with this matchup, some of the pitches that Noah throws, I think is a really good matchup for Soto to go over the hits, runs, RBIs. I know the market seems to agree that 1.5, which is usually like an even money proposition, minus 110 each way. We're up to like minus 150 in some spots. I looked at to hit a home run. The books, again, are onto us, though. The market's onto us where it's plus 195 or so to homer, which to me is just too low. But I think we'll get some offense. Philly should be able to get their runs in that ballpark. I think Nola, who will give up some runs with his struggles to keep the ball in the ballpark. And the Mets always seem to hit pretty well in that park, over the years. So I think we 6-5, 7-5 maybe type of game. I think we see some offense. I don't mind taking the Mets plus a half run in the first 5 innings just because I do think they'll score some runs here. But I'll go over 9.5, and I think some Soto props might be worth looking at.
Yeah, I looked at Soto too. Hits, runs, RBI, total bases. It does feel like a really good matchup for him against Nola where he has really good numbers. Now, Philadelphia, I've kind of planted my flag on them. I don't know how I really I don't normally love this team. I normally think they're kind of boring, but just looking at the National League, I'm trying to figure out how you knock off the Dodgers, and it feels like they have the formula. Just because Wheeler's gone back to his old form, which I didn't think was going to happen, you combine Wheeler with Sanchez at the front. Luzardo's a really good number 3. And then the offense is a lot of veteran guys, which that is best built for October. Maybe not as much the regular season, but I think they're a really good October baseball team. Do you think I'm crazy in believing Philadelphia 7-1 to win the National League pennant?
No, I don't think it's crazy. And remember, that was a 2-1 series last year, and I felt bad for the relief pitcher. I forget his name, Orkring or whatever his name was, where he threw the ball away and inexplicably threw it to home, where if Philly can win that game was an extra innings, they would have had a game 5 at home in their own ballpark. And, these short series, can get away from me, and we forget, all right, Dodgers won 3-1. It was easy. It really wasn't that easy. Philly blew game 1. They kind of blew game 4. So, Philly, to me, is dangerous. I'd worry a little bit, Dustin. Sanchez seems to be regressing a little bit. Gave up 3 runs in the All-Star game. Gave up a bunch of runs a week or so before the All-Star game in Kansas City, that Monday afternoon game a couple weeks ago. So I wonder, he was so unhittable for a while, and to go 50 innings without giving up a run, obviously that's unsustainable. But I worry a little bit Sanchez is regressing. I thought for a while they'd be players for Skubal just because Dombrowski is so aggressive. That's a team, they're win now. That's an older core with Schwarber and Harper and Turner. They probably don't have 2-3 years left in this window. And I thought you put Skubal with Sanchez and Wheeler, similar to when they got, Roy Oswalt and Holiday and all those great pitchers back, 15 or so years ago. But I don't get the sense Skubal's going to get traded. Maybe I'll be wrong. But to your point, I think they are a dangerous team for sure.
All right, Willie, it's been a Red Sox show here for the past couple weeks. I think I even got talked into a Red Sox-related bet here today. You are also high on the Red Sox going forward. How you betting them?
I just think the American League is so wide open. You could still get some 20-1 American League. I don't think that's a bad bet at all. That's a lot of starting pitching with how good Sonny Gray's been, and a lot of people making the case now Sonny Gray is a sleeper for Cy Young. I would agree with that. But Peyton Tolley, a really good young arm. Bennett's a really good young arm. And remember, they might at some point here get Garrett Crochet back, get Roman Anthony back. That's a lot of starting pitching. It's a pretty good back end of the bullpen with Whitlock and with Chapman. They might be a bat short. They might be 2 bats short. But, guys, this American League, I mean, just look at the odds. The Yankees, the short shot. No, thank you. All sorts of questions. Who knows when Judge is going to be back? Who knows when Stan's going to be back? I don't want any part of the Mariners. I don't trust them. I'm looking for value down the bottom of the board. And to me, the Red Sox, 20-1 is worth a bet. And you know what? Choose your flavor of ice cream that you like the best. The Tigers, 30-1. The Orioles in that 40-1 range. I was high on them beginning of the year. I kind of given up on them. But you've told me one of those 3 teams is like in the ALCS. I would not bat an eye. I think this is such a watered-down, wide-open American League where you take a shot at some 30, 40-1s and maybe you get through and maybe you put yourself in a position where you can at least hedge or monetize the ticket or, just ride it out. But I think that one of these teams can make a run. Remember last year, the Mariners were kind of off the radar. I think they were 6 or 7 games out this time last year. You could have gotten 20-1 to win the American League, 40-1 to win the whole thing. And, they obviously got as close as you can get to get in the World Series without getting there. So taking some swings on some American League teams, I think, is a worthy investment here. I don't trust the top of the board, and I think it's really wide open.
Will Hill's our guest. Should have bet more is the podcast. VSiN host, VSiN handicapper at Not The Will Hill and X. I'm with you, by the way. I have a little Tigers 24-1 to win the AL. I got to see if I can find another 30-1 out there. I'm with you on Baltimore. The irony is part of my handicap for Detroit is them keeping Skubal. Part of my handicap for the Orioles is hoping they trade for Skubal. I know they're not one of the teams thought about, but if anyone had the prospects, the position players to make a deal like that work, Baltimore's got so many redundant players that are so similar either in the majors or in AAA who are blocked. That's a team that I'm looking at. Now, a team that you're looking at in the NFL, I think makes a lot of sense. And in the NFC North, the Lions are a plus 180 favorite. I don't know if Detroit got better. Maybe the other teams got worse with Green Bay losing Halfley and Parsons being out. The Bears with the tough schedule. Minnesota adds Kyler Murray in the offseason. I don't think anyone here in this conversation is going to say they were the biggest Kyler fan in the past, but based on the price point in a salary cap league and the co-sign of Kevin O'Connell, you think they're a look at 510, plus 510 to win the NFC North?
Yeah, and I was not high on them last year, and being a Vikings fan, I have a good feel for this team. I just thought, you know what, the year 2 years ago, there was some luck with turnovers and point differential. I thought last year they would regress, but even last year when they did regress, they were over 500 with maybe the worst quarterback play in the entire league, maybe outside of the Jets. If you can get B-, C+ quarterback play, which I don't think is unreasonable. Nobody loves Kyler Murray. He's not Mahomes. There's plenty of reasons not to like him. But with Jefferson, Addison, good skill guys, decent offensive line, a bunch of good defensive players, right? I think they could be a top 5, top 3 defense. Flores, they lucked out there because of everything that happened in his past where they get to keep him, where normally he'd get another shot as a head coach. At 5-1 in a division that's pretty balanced, pretty wide open, you can make a case like you said. The Bears come back to the pack with the tougher schedule, all the close wins. The Lions, maybe they missed their window. Maybe they missed Ben Johnson more than we all realize. And then the Packers, no Parsons. They had all sorts of issues closing games. So at 5-1, a team that was 14-3 a couple years ago, they were 14-2 playing for the 1 seed. I wouldn't be surprised if they flirt with 11, 12 wins if everything breaks right. So to me, that 5-1 in the division looks a little long.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I think that's worth the look. The one team in the VSiN NFL betting guide where I regretted not having them in the playoffs was Minnesota. I think this is a playoff team. He's Will Hill. You can check out his podcast, more insight like that. Should have bet more at Not The Will Hill on X and all over VSiN here all the time. Thanks for the time as always, my friend. Good luck with all the bets.
All right, see you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm with him. I might be a little. It's a principal play at plus 510.
The other one he passed along is the Falcons. This is how I view the NFC in the offseason. I'm totally with him. If I had to make a bet in either one of those divisions, it would be Falcons and Minnesota. Well, I don't know that I'm going to end up with that heading into the season, but that's the bet I would make. Both those.
The Falcons at plus 425. Even if you're not just a fan of Tua, you're not a fan of Penix.
The weapons, right?
But the defense is tremendous. The skill is awesome. Also, the upgrade at coaching cannot be you cannot count that into your handicap more. No. Stefanski from Raheem Morris is as big of an upgrade as you're going to get in the NFL.
Morikawa. Let's go, baby.
Kelly is fist pumping. Find out why next.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
It's a numbers game, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Dustin Sweetelson in for Gil Alexander this week. That's Kelly Bidlin. He's always here. He never leaves. He lives at Circa. It's no big deal. Has a residency.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
By the way, I'm still.
Would you come see a lounge act if I did a regular lounge act?
Is it just you complaining about your bets?
No, I'd mix it up.
Okay, because that honestly, I think there's some people that would sign up for that. You just
could do
lament
that,
about
too.
your bets losing. I guess that's kind of what we're here for, though.
Yeah.
That's the
We already
important
have 3 hours a day for that.
yeah, that's true. That is true. And look, when it comes to the college football season coming up here, I am a big proponent of finding smaller leagues to bet on. I have an affinity for the Sun Belt because I lived in Georgia for a long time, from 2003 to 2010-ish, and my family still based in Atlanta. So I follow the Sun Belt pretty closely every year.
Yeah.
There's usually a team with value, and their media days are currently going on in Louisiana, which, by the way, is top 2 options for my bachelor party, Louisiana and Austin, Texas. Maybe we could do a debate with that.
I was going to say, do you have a specific city in Louisiana?
New Orleans.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. But
Shreveport?
I just thought it was odd that you just said Louisiana than Austin, Texas.
Yeah,
Okay.
some random town in Louisiana. No, it's going to be New Orleans. And I'm looking at the board. You and I were discussing this. James Madison's the favorite to win the Sun Belt. They're plus 270. And I understand that based on track record and history. You got Kurt Signetti into Bob Chesney. Well, Bob Chesney took the UCLA job. He also brought a ton of players with him. Only 4 Dukes returned to JMU, yet they're the favorite plus 270. To help us make sense of that and the rest of this conference that I find to be very fun to bet on, we're going to bring in David Schultz. He hosts the Locked On Sunbelt podcast. You can find him on X at SchultzyCast, and he joins us live from New Orleans, Louisiana. David, help us understand this. The Dukes, the top of the betting board at plus 270. Bob Chesney took a lot of the players to UCLA. Others have left. They bring in Billy Napier, who was great in this league from 2019 to 2021, going 34-5. Do you think they warrant being the favorite here?
First things first, there is a casino here. I don't know if you
Yes.
need that on your bachelor party since you live at one. So there is a casino here if you want to do New Orleans, right? And that's right smack in the middle of downtown. I always take these preseason coaches polls with a grain of salt because, especially now in the era of the transfer portal, the head coaches don't know what they have, right? They've been through one spring practice. They haven't had fall camp yet. And so not only don't they know what they have, the other teams don't know what they have. So we're doing it on Billy Napier, who had a lot of success with the Cajuns, right? Went to 4 bowl games, won a Sun Belt championship before he took the Florida game. I will say he was the beneficiary, and you guys can go back and look at this. He had 4 years, and his starting quarterback started every game. He had Andre Nunez the first year, and then Levi Lewis the last 3 years. And I'm not sure you can find a starting quarterback that started, the whole season 2 years in a row. Even Stetson Bennett the fourth didn't do that. And so, so if you can have a starting quarterback play that way, those usually get the favorite. So you usually go with the guys with the quarterback and coming back. That's why Troy is favored in the West with Goose Crowder and Jared Parker. Troy played JMU in the Sun Belt Championship last year, coming up short. Cajuns returning Lunch Winfield, which is a great name. He's about to get a national NIL deal. You love that for a Sun Belt guy. But he's coming back with Mike Desimo. And you do have Old Dominion, who's got a lot of depth, especially on defense, but they were actually replacing their quarterback, Colton Joseph, who took off. You got Quinn Hinickle, who is the fastest on the team. We just don't know what JMU has. Like you said, they have like 4 or 5 guys remaining from the whole team. We had, a big offensive lineman who's already graduated college, and they get their running back, George Pettaway, back as well. But other than that, it is a, crapshoot for JMU because we just don't know.
Absolutely. David Schultz doing an awesome job. Locked On Sunbelt, breaking down the Sunbelt. We look for these leagues as bettors to really focus in on and specialize in. So with that, maybe there's some value on this board, David. And let's go with the second shot right now for now, Old Dominion. You kind of touched on it. Ricky Ronnie, 6th year, 30-33, 10-3 last year, though. The only 2 losses, Indiana and James Madison. That's pretty impressive. Joseph, the quarterback, he went to Wisconsin. You mentioned that. Heinkel takes over. He beat USF in the bowl game. Defense has some production back. What do you make of ODU coming into this year?
Well, it's a good opportunity to build what they had last year. Ricky Ronnie is the elder statesman in terms of coaching experience in this conference. He's actually coaching, I believe, his 7th year with the team, but they didn't play during COVID. So he got paid for not doing anything in 2020 because ODU opted out that year. So he's got the most years in the Sun Belt. Butch Jones is right behind him. ODU went into Blacksburg last year and basically what ended the career of Brent Pry up there in Blacksburg. They're going up there again. All right. You got ODU going up into Blacksburg again. And could they take down James Franklin and Virginia Tech once again? They play that a couple of years ago. They brought in the Fordham offensive coordinator. They play a spread. They play fast. Quarterback can run, and they are explosive offensively. The thing has always been defense, and like you said, they're bringing 7 guys back on defense. So can they get some stops when they need them? What is the value? What do you got there for Marshall? Because that may be
9-1 on Marshall.
Bet on.
Yeah.
Where's Marshall? Marshall's plus 900. There's good value in that. They got my guy from Syracuse, former Orange, Carlos Del Rio Wilson. He's the preseason offensive player of the year. And again, quarterback is back with the head coach, Tony Gibson, who's heading into his second year as a head coach of the Marshall Thundering Herd. Marshall also has 4 other guys on preseason All Sun Belt. 2 offensive linemen, a wide receiver, and a tight end. So Carlos Del Rio Wilson's going to have plenty of weapons. Can they get stops on offense? They open up with James Franklin's former team taking on Penn State. And Penn State with Matt Campbell, all new operation. So we'll see if Marshall can pull off a surprise. And a few years ago, they did, right, by beating, they went into Notre Dame and took down the Irish. Sunbelt did that all one day, right? Marshall beat Notre Dame. App State beat the Aggies. And Georgia Southern finished it off with taking down Nebraska.
David Schultz is our guest, breaking down the Sun Belt this year, live from Media Days, New Orleans, Louisiana. At SchultzyCast, you can find him on X. Locked On Sun Belt is the podcast. You touched on it at the beginning, though, David. Troy's 8-1. They're the favorite in the West. Just because they have quarterback play coming back, it just feels like a little bit of a safe team. They made the Sun Belt title game a year ago. They lost to JMU. Their best defender returns in Donnie Smith. Former Tarleton OC Adam Austin comes in. They put up huge numbers at FCS. Goose Crowder, Tucker Kilcrease, both of them are back for Troy this year. That kind of shocked me when I saw that.
Well, Goose is their starting quarterback, and I'm not kidding, guys. He gets his name from the movie Top Gun. That's where he gets the nickname from. He is, talk to me, Goose. All right? That's where he gets his nickname from. It's important to keep him healthy. Goose has not been healthy for most of the last 2 years. Got hurt early a couple years ago, got hurt last year, came back. So it's important to keep Goose Crowder healthy. But Donnie Smith is the best defensive player in the conference. They also have preseason special teams, Evan Crenshaw, the punter. He's special teams player of the year preseason, and he's a weapon. He's going to be among the nation's leaders in punting, going to be up for that Right Guy Award. And so Troy is expected to do really well in the West. It's not just because of Goose being back, but that defense is going to be something special. Jared Parker now in his 3rd year with the Trojans. He goes from not knowing which way to, coming off the bus, going on the Trojan walk, which way to go to the locker room, to playing in the Sun Belt Championship last year. So Troy is probably not bad value either, although they are the favorite in the West.
David, thanks for joining us. I want to ask you, we talk about a lot of these conferences and what these teams have lost and who's going out, just who coming in is the single most impactful transfer in your mind coming into the Sun Belt Conference?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, you got to go with right now App State's Malachi Singleton, right? We got 3 quarterbacks here at Sun Belt Media Days, all of them returners. Malachi Singleton, the only one that was not a returning player, so he had some experience with Dowell Loggins. He went to Purdue instead, didn't play very much, and is now at App State. So Malachi Singleton, the quarterback for App State, and again, Dowell Loggins didn't get the quarterback right last year, was giving up a bunch of interceptions, and it's just such a key player. And, we can go back to JMU and Billy Napier. Billy never got the quarterback right at Florida, and that's why they struggled, and that's why he's at JMU. So if you can get the quarterback right, and it's got to be such a relief to these coaches, guys, heading into fall camp, knowing who the quarterback is. That has got to be just the way to go compared to answering questions from us all day long on who that starting quarterback is.
Right. Yeah.
David, that was awesome, man. It was great to finally chat with you after years and years of following each other on social. Tremendous job with the Sun Belt. We're going to talk during the season. We're going to talk to you a couple times before the season. You like Marshall as maybe a value play, but you see value on the board.
Yes.
That's the word we like to hear around here. Avoid the favorite. Find someone you like. Let's latch on to him. He's David Schultz. Check out the Locked On Sun Belt podcast wherever you get your podcasts and at SchultzyCast on X. Enjoy the rest of Media Days, man. Really appreciate you doing this.
Appreciate it, guys. I'm going to go give you value. Dustin, if you want to do something for a bachelor party, the Bourbon Trail is where to go. I work up there, all right? I'll take you around, all right? You go from distillery to distillery to distillery, and I'll get you some special pork.
That's a good one right there.
I'm in. You might have just sold me on New Orleans. He's also part of the tourism authority. Who knew? Who knew? Recruiting people. Hey, the VSiN NFL betting guide, it's out right now. All the futures that you want to bet, we haven't broken down. All of the teams as well. Get it today with our football special for just $175. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe now. We'll share information from the NFC East and a quarterback whose schedule lines up great for MVP. That's next on A Numbers Game.
A Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
I think we should have a VSiN Plus subscription where people can pay for a live cam watching Kelly Bidlin sweating out golf bets. I mean, he reacts to every shot. Guys that he didn't bet on, that he thought about betting on, guys that he did back but didn't back enough on.
Well, I'm in the hunt for first round leader now, Morikawa, and I got Jackson Suber coming out of nowhere in Eagle in 17, so he's got the lead now at 5 under.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I know you don't. He's been driving me nuts for like a month now.
There's some people who don't know who I am. I'm Dustin Sweetelson. That's Kelly Bidlin. I'm also known as Schizophrenic Gil, which I kind of like.
That's
that
pretty
nickname.
good.
It's
Yeah.
kind of hitting. I'm a little more like shifty. Patrick Maher always says this. He doesn't like people who like move around a lot. He calls them Muppets.
Oh, I do that a lot.
So
too.
I move around a lot.
Yeah, you and I both do it.
And he's like, people are just too twitchy. It reminds me of Muppets. You don't know which way they're coming from.
I think that's funny.
It's a funny line.
That is funny. I think I brought it up the other day, but someone tweeted it a week ago that I adjust the mic too much. I was very as soon as you sat down Monday, I was like, thank God Dustin's here.
No, I do it because I have a couple.
Yeah, you do the arm thing.
I rest my arm. Well, someone tweeted when you were out and I was in your chair.
Yeah.
Someone was like, Dustin, is it difficult for you to have to use your left arm to go over the mic stand because you can't rest your right arm?
It is different. It is different.
But it's also like it's not a nervous tick. It's just ADHD. I just like to.
Yeah, no.
It's like my fidget spinner. I'm just sitting here moving it around. Somewhere in the back, there's like, Aramis and Alex Blowers who run everything behind the scenes. They're like, dude, you're the reason why we had to buy all new microphone arms for every single microphone here because you won't stop tinkering with it.
The arms are the base. Wasn't it the base? No, everything's new.
Everything's a lot larger when you measure from the base. No, I think it's all new.
All I know is the bases are too light because I can't move the mic at all or else it tips over.
I think that's not balanced less than it's too light. It's just there's too much leaning this way.
Gotcha.
Or maybe that would be to your point.
Right. It's too late then. I got to be able to extend this as far as I want.
Speaking of measuring from the base.
Man, this seriously, I'm just going to...
Scotty Scheffler, your leader at the British Open, plus 470. We mentioned it was 7-8 to 1
leader on
yesterday.
the odds board, yes.
Yeah, on the odds board. Collin Morikawa, plus 930, the second shot on the board. Bryson DeChambeau right after that at plus 1325. The guy we did not bet, Bobby Mack, at 16 to 1 after Rory. He was around 14. Hey, John Rahm, a little bit shorter than his initial price for me. Looking at the actual leaderboard, though, your boy Suber's 5 under through 17. Daniel Brown, Sungjae Im, they've been knocked off. But you got plenty of time for Morikawa. He's only through 11, and he's 3 under.
Oh, yeah. No, that was, I was making the joke. There was plenty of time for him to screw it up when he had the lead. Yeah, now he's got plenty of time to go catch Suber and pass him. Hopefully here, Suber heading to the 18th, so maybe he could give one shot.
Here's
back.
what I don't
Nice.
understand. Scotty's 2 under, and he's finished for the day. How is he such a big favorite at plus 470? Like, what did they see that leads them to believe, okay, we should cut his price basically in half?
He's only 3 shots back, right? You're talking about you are top. There's 150 guys out there, 156 playing this week. I'm double checking, and I lost it in my notes. 156 players. He's in the top 10% already of where players are at in this tournament. That's why.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that.
Okay.
I just, it's not like he's been in the form lately where we trust him. He will make a run, right? You know the run is coming at some point. That's what he's proven. Even if he doesn't win, he'll find his way because he'll just go off and just knocking stuff down. But at this course, do you think that's likely?
Oh, yeah. I think so. I think it's possible. I think it's possible. I mean, if this weather's going to stay calm, I think this course is relatively scoreable.
Okay, we got you covered, though, VSiN, all day long. Updates with the British Open. We also have some news we have to hit on real quickly. One, Chase Burns and the Cincinnati Reds, 7-year, $105 million extension. That coming down the pike right now from Jeff Passan. I get it, man. You want to get him under control. You want to get a little bit of a deal. What they do now these days is smart. They buy out the early years with the arbitration, so they don't have to deal with that. In the end, you pay more up front, but you save more on the back end of the contract. I wonder if this gets addressed in the new CBA, though, after this.
Yeah.
Because arbitration was part of the old CBA. It was kind of the way this whole sport operated. Owners are willing to spend the money now if it means they can save later. On Chase Burns, I think it's a smart move from a team like Cincinnati that struggles to find pitching. Hunter Green's coming off the injury. But if you line up for the future, the next 5-6 years, it's Hunter Green and Chase Burns. That is a dangerous combination.
Sorry.
Go. I was just saying, Burns is having a great year. He's got 102 innings pitched, 2.54 ERA, 118 innings. If you were looking NL Cy Young, 20-1, I don't hate the flyer. I just hate the stadium he's pitching in because it's one bad blowout.
Yeah.
It balloons all the numbers.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's part of that would be an additional reason of, man, I just, at our age now, just like a 7-year contract anywhere feels like, man, at age 23 to commit like that, it's quite a commitment. But, for 1/10 of $1 billion, I guess you'll take that.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I'd be handling. If I signed for that much money, I do not know how I'd be handling the next couple weeks at age 23.
Yeah, but all the NBA players have social clips going around right now. It's not really $20 million.
Yeah.
After taxes, it's only half of that.
It's tough out there.
After this, that, and the other, it's really only like $3 million in the end, as if the rest of the world doesn't get taxed also.
Yeah. Bogey for Morikawa after he found the side of that mountain. Almost saved par with a long par putt, but he's going to go one back. He will drop to 3 under. Jackson Suber, 5 under par on the 18th hole, your leader at the British Open.
We haven't had time to hit this story. Gary Trent Jr., NBA probing of his $64 million contract. Well, I don't understand the shadiness. The NBA is investigating how stupid the Bucks are?
Yeah, it's just a dumb signing.
But is that because they have to meet the salary cap floor?
Maybe they might be in that position,
but
what is that?
They're allowed to do that.
Yeah, why does that? You're still people get overpaid all the time.
Yeah, dude, it's the way the world works. I'm sorry, like if that's how they want to tank by overpaying a bad basketball player, go for it, man.
Also, I don't like we don't want to tank anymore. You want to live in the middle, but were we going to punish teams for living in the middle? Because guess what? Overpaying Gary Trent Jr. is a good way to live in the middle. He's very meh.
Shout out to Jimmy Eat World, by the way. They were in the middle.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, we've got plenty of bets. Maybe you can middle these. I don't think.
I think I saw Simple Plan playing this weekend here, Dustin.
I'm just a kid.
You've been dropping all these
life
bands
is
today.
a nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm a white suburban kid. I think I have real problems. All right. Joe Sheehan was on the program earlier today. I like where his head was at with a bunch of these futures bets, Kelly.
Yeah, I tailed one of them. We got you're going to have to read this. I'm covered up.
Yeah, Kevin McGonigal, AL MVP 100-1. He just thought his WAR didn't match where he was priced in the market. Matt Olson to lead the majors in RBI at 75-1. Braves to miss the playoffs at 9-1 because the offense has struggled. But the one that really jumped out to us, the Red Sox are right on the cusp of a wild card spot. He took Chad Tracy, who's taking over for Alex Cora, as the AL manager of the year at 28-1. I think that bet makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I tailed him on that one. That is, I made a lot of sense. We had Will on as well. I'll just go to Will's bets. Tonight, Mets Phillies over 9.5, and then Juan Soto over 1.5 HRR, and then he liked the Red Sox bet as well, 20-1 to win the American League. I think I like the manager of the year route better though.
Because you just got to make the playoffs.
I only got to make the playoffs. I'm getting a little bit better number, 28-1 versus 20-1. But I get it. I mean, if I'm winning mine, there's a very good chance that Will's going to win his.
If Garrett Crochet returns for the Red Sox and finds his old form, it's very likely it happens. It's just very likely.
2 NFL division bets from Will. Falcons in the South, plus 425. Vikings in the North, plus 510. I said it to you earlier.
I like the Vikings a lot.
I like both of them. The NFC, man, I'm Dave Tooley, dog or pass on like all these divisions. It is nobody at the top.
Dude, I'm not touching favorites. On principle, you just bet deeper. The only favorites I bet, I think, for baseball divisions are not going to win their divisions this year. It just goes to show you how it normally goes.
We'll talk the East tomorrow.
Zach Cohen on the program earlier today. VSiN.com, Hardwood Handicappers is the podcast. NBA Summer League, he likes the Nets money line against the Rockets. He also liked the Bulls. He got plus 3.5. There's 5.5 out there against the Lakers. And then in tennis,
you want to try it?
Dominic Stricker money line and Jesper De Jong money line at minus 123.
I think he did a great job.
I mean, it's either De Jong or De Jong.
Alexander Shevchenko and Sebastian Baez.
Oh yeah, I wasn't going to say the people he didn't bet on.
Throw it out
It's
there.
old trick. Only say what you know, not what you don't know.
good call.
Had it been the other way around, that he's fading
I was
this
pretty
person.
confident in those pronunciations.
David Schultz was with us earlier in the show. Did he like Troy to win at 8-1? I knew he liked Marshall 9-1. I like Troy at 8-1.
Yeah. Marshall definitely sounded like his favorite there.
To win the Sun Belt Conference. We'll do that. It won't be an official play for me yet, Troy, but I think I might be getting there. I'm going to have to think about that one for a little. Stick it in the noodle. And then tonight, Major League Baseball. I am on Aaron Nola over 5.5 strikeouts against the New York Metropolitans, plus 117. Christian Scott over 1.5 walks against the Phillies. Road starts, he walks a lot of guys. 5 of 6, he's gone over that number. Nola, last 6 outings against the Metsies, he is cleared. 5.5 strikeouts. I like chasing that plus price with that tonight. So that'll do it.
Let's go.
I want to remind
cash a
everyone,
baseball bet.
early bird special, vsin.com. You want picks from Kelly. You want picks from me. It's all available right now. vsin.com/subscribe. Also, you'll get our football special for just $175. As soon as you sign up, the more value you'll get. That is access to everything we do now through the Super Bowl. The NFL betting guide previews every single team, projected win totals, bets from everyone here. Will Hill on the show earlier. I loved his write-up as far as coach of the year. The division picks from everyone. We'll tackle the NFC East tomorrow, as Kelly said. So that'll do it for us here today.
Let's
go,
go,
my friend.
Lots of Portland Strip Club conversation on Twitter now. So, good job by us.
Let's go.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, not a lot of deodorant up there. Let's go, Matt Fitzpatrick. Hopefully he's working hard and wearing his deodorant today. Stay with VSiN. Prop Points is next. Jeff Erickson, Nick Whalen on the other side of VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.